Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. How are you doing, Chef?
Good. How's it going?
Oh, I couldn't be more excited. Today we are joined by James and Alena Mahoney from Madam Mocktail. Hi, how are you?
Hello. Hey.
Hello. Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks for being here. How's it going? What's the weather like in Pittsburgh today?
It's nice out.
Pretty
High
good.
70, I think, today.
Much different than what we're used to. Yeah. So we've had a pretty tough winter, as most of the Northeast has. But
And the groundhog saw a shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter.
It's insane. Steve can tell you that I'm always complaining about being cold. This is probably the first day of nice weather that North Carolina has had in 3 months. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it's kind of hot.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. We'll take hot
Texas,
over cold. At least I
Over the cold.
Yeah, you can't win. Steve, what's it doing in Texas today?
I think the high is supposed to be like 85 or something like that, and sunny. So no complaints.
Yeah, good for you.
It sounds beautiful. Well, James and Alena, we start every single episode by asking each other and our guests what was the most amazing thing you ate. Steve, I'm going to put you in the hot seat.
Oh, so you know what? The most amazing thing we had to eat this past week was we made some T-bone steaks, prime T-bone steaks, and we made a romesco sauce from scratch. Of course, you got like the bell peppery kind of roasted tomato, almond, flavors all together. Came out perfect. So yeah, sous vide that T-bone, get a good hard sear on it. Came out perfect mid-rare. Oh yeah,
very good.
All you need.
Sounds amazing. Well, today, and for the listeners, James and Alena are joining us from the beverage part of the industry. And so I would also open it up to what was the most amazing thing you drank this week. But go ahead, either one.
Best thing I drank. I mean, Madam Mocktail.
Of course. It's this is where you
mixed it
plug.
up with a few non-alcohol spirits.
Yeah.
So we had a true mocktail mixed with Madam Mocktail. I think, what was the gin that we used?
You used a rum.
Or was it a rum?
Ritual
Rum, and then I mixed it with
actually the Moscow Mule.
The Moscow Mule, and I did it in a copper mug, a traditional copper mug, and it tasted fantastic. We have real ginger from Whole Foods that we got, and a nice lime over it, and it tasted good.
I'm adding green food coloring to our mojito this week for St. Patrick's Day.
Nice.
That's this week, right?
That's
this week, right?
Yeah.
Next
Saturday
week.
or something
Like that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Already.
Yeah.
Already. That sounds incredible because there's nothing I love more than like a food pun, but then I love like a food theme. And I'm like, if we're making things match for holidays, I'm in. I love it so much.
Alena's the chef in this relationship, which it pairs well nicely because when we had our drinks made, she's traveled all over the world. So her palate is far more defined than mine. I mean, I haven't left the United States or lived anywhere outside of the United States. So, the flavors that we brought to Madam Mocktail really correlate with what she kind of had in mind with our palate. So it really was created by what she wanted, some differentials and
flavors that
flavor.
I've tried.
Bold flavors,
Probably. Yeah.
Nice. There's just no better way to like stretch your palate than kind of getting out of your, physically right out of your comfort zone or out of your, your home area or whatever it may be. I made bolognese yesterday, so I needed to kind of clean out the fridge and my freezer. This is the problem. I didn't grow up in an ingredients house. I grew up in a it's ready to eat house. But now my freezer is full of all the things that need to be cooked and I don't want to. So I made bolognese yesterday with a lupini bean pasta, like a spaghetti, and ground meat. And it was kind of an empty the cabinet, empty the jar type situation. So I had some crushed tomatoes. I had some basil that was on its last legs. I had some artichoke hearts. I had some ground meat, caramelized onion. It was delicious.
Nice.
Artichoke hearts. That sounds good.
Yeah. Otherwise, what I've eaten this week is protein shakes and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So that was literally the most.
Get it in where you
can. Champions.
Get it in where you can fit it in. That was literally the most amazing thing I've eaten this week.
If I didn't live with her, I'd be eating Uncrustables and Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was ready to tell you the best dish we had. I made a Mongolian beef dish.
That
That
sounds
was
so
really
good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, with green onions, fresh green onions. It was really good. And
Yeah.
shiitake mushrooms.
Poison sauce.
Yeah.
Ooh. I love shiitake mushrooms. They're so
So
good. They have
good.
like that nutty, meaty, rich flavor. I
I
love
was gonna
that.
say, yeah, there's a lot of umami that comes out of those.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to get right into it. So, James and Alena, can you just tell us how did Madam Mocktail come about?
You can go ahead. I did it last time.
Yeah, absolutely. So
This is like the meat
yeah,
cute for your business.
this was actually back in 2021. Alena had an Instagram handle called Madam Mocktail, which she would go around and talk about different restaurants that were carrying mocktails prior to mocktails being kind of the craze that they are. So it was more of just a hobby.
And like
going
a
around.
reviewing page, like Instagram. I was just shocked that I got the name.
Yeah,
to be
right.
honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 years, we met, and we moved very quickly in our relationship. We got married within what, 3 months?
after meeting.
3 months after meeting.
Oh, that's
So
terrifying.
we married at the end of 2023, and we were still going out. We were drinking. I ended up getting sober. I've been sober for about a year now, and during that
Congratulations.
time,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. And you know, that name sort of came up again, and I was sort of asking her what we were doing with it, and I thought to myself, wow, what a good business we can start. Let's make our own mocktails, because anytime we'd go out to dinner, I would either order a cherry Coke or like a bottled water. And me being an entrepreneur, I'm still in a lot of social settings. I do a lot of talks. So I just wanted something that sort of fit in, almost like a placebo. So we decided to take the name Madam Mocktail and turn it into, the business that we have today. And now we have a beverage company. We aren't.
It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, the idea came to fruition in January 2025, and we came to market November of 2025, November 1st. So we were already in stores.
Well, like that week and last week of October, we went to the bottling, but it didn't come
Right,
direct. Yeah.
right.
Because
But-
we like had them in Salem. We did like one Halloween post right before.
yeah, but we actually had pre-orders.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, the dog grooming business that we ventured into, a gentleman works in the food industry, and we kind of followed his path for retail locations. And it
Nice.
just so happened a lot of those retail locations turned into national chains, and now we didn't even understand that hospitality was going to be a big part of it prior to when we
No.
started. So we have many restaurants that are ordering locally. We're now on Cisco's website, where national restaurants are going to start to order. We
Good for
have
you.
interest
Wow.
from some very big names that we won't say until an order comes, but
Right.
you'd know who they are. And yeah, it's just moving at the speed of light. So neither of us had a background in the beverage world, so it was a quick learning process. Luckily, we've partnered with some consultants that had some real life experience that really helped us get from point A to point Z, and did it in a manner that I feel we probably couldn't have done it ourselves.
They definitely kept us on track. Each,
Yeah.
Like week, following up. And they helped
From
us-
finding co-packers to bottling to distribution to wholesalers, ingredients, sourcing, all that. It was, I mean, we learned probably more in the last year about any industry that I've been in 10 months than anything, that I've spent, decades in prior to this. So yeah, it's been pretty
Yeah.
awesome as a husband and wife team too, to get it off the ground.
Well, first, I just have to say again, and from both Steve and I, congratulations on your sobriety. That's a huge deal.
Thank you.
And I think this sounds like an amazing journey. I can't believe we're almost in on the ground floor of this. Not even been quite a year, right?
It's wild. Yeah, no, it hasn't.
It's cool.
And yeah, idea year, but we didn't even start with a company. We consulted with BevSource, who really helped other larger brands get to market. Alena did her due diligence on who we wanted to utilize, and thank God, knock on wood, we did utilize them. They were exceptionally, well.
Couldn't imagine it any other way.
Yeah. They were in the Northeast, so they were easy to visit, and we went through rounds of tasting, and with Alena's creativity and palate,
I knew what I wanted.
we
right off the
designated.
bat.
flavors that were consistent and, you know, true to what we wanted. We didn't want to put out a product that we were standing behind that
Right.
didn't taste good,
Tastes good.
because there's a lot of mocktails out there, so-called mocktails. They're just, you know, what are
We
they?
would buy like a variety pack and just sit there and try them and just be like, oh my God, I can't finish this. I can't finish that. And it just
Like
it gave
flavored
us,
water.
yeah, it gave us more like a little push to just
Yeah.
do what we were doing even
Now,
more.
when you all rolled out, did you all roll out with 4 different flavors? Did you all like start with one, and like what was that like?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we started with 4. It was gonna be 3, but then somehow I snuck it in there with Bev Source. I was like, it's gonna be like the same texture and same carbonation and everything, and they were like, okay, we'll throw a 4th flavor in there.
Because we
So
wanted to sell a 4-pack. A lot
Yeah.
of our competitors were selling 4-packs, and we wanted to start with cans. I'm glad we did start with bottles, though, because the hospitality industry really took us on, because they're utilizing these as mixers as well. So they're
Right.
serving mocktails as, you know, mocktails, but it can also, you know, be a mixer, which is great for a lot of the family restaurants that want to serve mocktails. We did a theme, naughty and nice, in Christmas for a lot of different restaurants, and it seemed to work out pretty well. So the bottles really came in handy. We are probably going to do a can run economically for when we go direct to consumer, which we are doing direct to consumer, but it's just a lot for shipping. Alena was invited on HSN, QVC, and for us to really kind of economically
Right.
justify it, we want to go to like 8.4 ounce cans for the shipping aspect of it. Just make it easier for like arenas,
Yeah.
stadiums, which
Yeah.
also have shown interest
Yeah.
locally and nationally to carrying us as well. And glass bottles are great for what they are, and I love the way that they look.
the
Specifically in
shelf.
retail, we want to go to cans. We want to have a hybrid approach for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of answered a little bit of my question, but I was going to ask you, like, are are you okay with people using your product with alcohol, even though you're sober yourself? Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you had any specific, like, you're like, hey, it's not really what we're going for. It's not our ethos. You know what I mean? Like,
So yeah, I mean, yeah, and I'll answer that, you know, openly. I'm kind of, it's my lifestyle, and you know, like we're kind of like the sober curious company. You know what I mean? Alena still
Yeah.
drinks. I chose personally. I'm 46 years old. You know what I mean? It just was time. You know,
Yeah.
I was finding myself. You know, I didn't have energy. It just was. It was an important part of my life to make that decision. But we're not really pushing it down people's throats. There's a lot of organizations out there that do that, and God bless them, it works. I mean, I have family members that have been in AA for
Sure.
20 plus years, and you know, alcohol just doesn't work for them. But we also want to appeal to different crowds as well. At the end of the day, I think if you can just drink responsibly
Mindfully.
or mindfully, and it really, we don't really have a problem with anyone that drinks, because it is socially acceptable and it just can be
Yeah.
done in a more responsible manner. And if we have mocktails that can be utilized with drinks, this could also be an avenue for them to drink more mindfully or
Or
responsibly.
space it out in between, have a mocktail
Right.
and then a cocktail, or however you
Yeah.
want to do it, but just to being open
And-
to the idea, sober curiosity.
Right.
Yeah.
And with
Go ahead.
products like this, I mean, there's a lot of different interpretations on what you can mix with this,
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, you know, if you're getting the product into the customer's hands, they enjoy it. They can put whatever twist they want to it, as long as they enjoy it. you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
And we didn't realize, I mean, obviously the biggest goal we had was to be a bold flavor, to be a good tasting drink, because that's all of our competitors that we tried, there were like hit or miss, and we just wanted all of our flavors to be good and bold. And
And ours
That's
actually look like mocktails. You know, a lot of the competitors, and not to talk bad about them, they're more of like a sparkling water with a splash of juice.
Yeah.
So ours, if you
Yeah.
actually put, you know, like our Cosmo or our Moscow
Yeah.
Mule, you can see like it
there's
actually
like a
sits.
cloudy texture to it, and it sits well in a martini glass. Like when I envision a Cosmo,
Nice.
this is what it looks like to me.
Right.
Not like a sparkling seltzer with a splash of red cranberry juice.
That
Right.
I think that inclusion aspect is so important, because a lot of people don't realize like how big this social, you know, this social activity part is, like in either somebody's sobriety journey, or like it's even like I smoked cigarettes for a really long time, and it's like you want to still be in that group of people, right?
Right.
Like there's
Yeah,
there's an addiction component to that, but it's also about like belonging and like
Yes.
having this habit and this activity. I'll joke with people that I didn't know how to drive correctly after I stopped smoking because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do with my other hand, but it didn't have a cigarette in it. You know, but it's interesting. Like I've done dry January. I kind of hate it as a concept because I feel like people wear it as a badge of honor when it's really like a legitimate struggle and a disease for
Sure.
other people. And so I'm like,
Right, and if people slip
yeah.
up, they like get so
Yeah.
like frustrated or angry with themselves.
Yeah, right?
And it's like you
Right.
can try again in February.
it's like
You know?
I hate that idea because it's like it's really life and death for some people.
Yeah.
And so I hate to like belittle anybody's journey, but I think it's really becoming this important social movement too. So I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
I can kind of see both sides, but it's
Right.
interesting, right? Like, so I've done it a couple of times. I think Steve, you've done it a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
And it sucks because you go and you're like, you go to your bar, your local bar, and you're like, can you make me a mocktail? And it's just the highball with the liquor taken out. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. I got a club soda with lime in it. And
Right.
you charged me
Yeah.
real money. You know, like,
Right.
for this.
That people are paying the same amount, you know.
So I'd rather pay the same amount for actual like mocktail, you know, not
Yeah.
just a sparkling
100%.
like you're saying.
100%.
And bartenders used to get so put off when you'd ask for a
When you even
mocktail. I
order,
remember that they
like
would just
something besides, you know, that didn't have alcohol.
right. It'd be like, oh, this guy, you know, he's a designated driver. But
Taking up a seat at my my bar, you know.
But a lot of, I don't know if you've seen the trends. I mean, alcohol sales have plummeted. So bars are now adapting to bringing in mocktails because not only the Gen Z population, you know, people of my age, people are just making different choices. And whether that's more responsible, maybe that's more, you know, NA compared to, you know, more alcohol, that's great, you know, for us. And that really wasn't our driving force. It just so happened we got into the market right at the right time. So
I just think it always goes back to our good like flavors too, because
Yeah.
like a lot of the restaurants just tried them and they were like, oh my gosh, like we could have this on tap and that would just be our Cosmo. You know,
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it
love
just
that.
hits so well.
Yeah.
So and our lemon drop too, like the top two that are like
And-
made all
yeah,
the time. Lemon
Yeah.
drop martini and
and
Cosmo.
you're right. Like the NA, it's not a movement. Like it's grown quite a bit. Like I remember a couple years ago, one of our guests was a bartender out of St. Louis, and he mentioned it. And I can remember initially I used to think like, oh, they're just sugary drinks, but they've come around quite a bit. Like they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's more than just a sugary drink. You know, like once I actually tasted them, once I actually did a little bit of research about them, like they're really good. So
Yeah.
how many test rounds did you all have to do for your flavors when it came to, you know, trying to find the right,
Yeah.
I guess, flavor profile for each
We
one?
did like 3 or 4.
Yeah, there were 3 total,
Three.
and I think they might have done an extra one for us because we
Right.
really wanted to nail down like the cloudiness of Cosmo. But they were pretty intense. They sent us like a case of each. We had family members. We were, you know, Alena's really creative and she's been documenting a lot of it. So we did,
Yeah.
we signed like NDAs with like family members and friends to kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, get their feedback and everything.
Super
And
secret.
The reactions and
Yeah.
knowing it through each like step. It was awesome.
yeah, it was really cool, and I think we nailed it. They did a really good job, and kudos to BevSource for really
Yeah.
taking the time with us, because I'm sure they get
Yeah.
a lot of interested parties that want to start a beverage company, and they probably looked at us, hey, we had a little bit of extra money, let's start a beverage company. Then I don't think they realized the success we'd have as quickly as we did.
Might have, because they really were rooting for us from day one.
Yeah, I think we have a good story. You know what I mean? I think Alena brings the creative mindset to it. I've had the acumen over the years. I've been an entrepreneur for a while, so I think we meshed pretty well. And even on the phone calls leading up to a lot of the conversations we had with them, they probably felt it, and hopefully that mirrors what you guys are seeing too, because we do have some excitement, and I think a lot of people see that when we sit with them.
James, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do before? Because I love when one career can inform the next. Like I love when it works out that way. I love to hear that for anybody. So what was it?
So I started my career in medical device sales. I did that for close to 15 years. And then I started a medical distribution company that was national. During the pandemic, I sold a lot of different tests throughout the United States. I got into lighting sales, which you would think had nothing to do with that, but
Yeah, I'm
just
still trying
because
to
of my
find the
distribution
connection.
network, I was working with a lot of these larger companies, hospitals, nursing homes, all of which, this is right when lighting rebates became big, and people, didn't have the money to upgrade to LED.
Mm,
There were a lot of government programs, mostly on the East Coast, that government was giving subsidies to where it made medium to small to actually large size. I worked with Fortune 500 companies all the way down to mom and pop shops that were getting LED lighting for a quarter of the price of what they would have typically paid. So I kind of utilized that network, went from medical to lighting, and then most recently we got into dog grooming and now beverage. So
that's
I,
like the most
Just like throw a
windy,
dart.
Wow.
insane journey.
a lot of pivots, but I think they were done in a way that I think the timing is always right for us, it seems, and
Well, and getting sober and everything like that's
Yeah.
really where the mocktail thing came in.
yeah, it was a lifestyle
Yeah.
change, and I honestly I wasn't really passionate about it. The medical was great because I felt like I was helping, people live longer. I was dealing with pacemakers, and I was helping surgeons in those types of operations, and it other than doing the surgery, I was right side by side with the surgeon, so I felt a little bit important. But
Mhm.
I think with this really is something that I can look at myself and be proud of, and my children can sort of see a legacy. Up
Yeah.
until that point, I don't really feel like I did much. I mean, I think with the pandemic, I helped, get some DME, to important places when people needed PPE and things of that sort. But other than that, I feel like this is really helping people change their lives, and
I
it's
love that.
something that
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of, and I think
I'm
Leah,
extremely proud of. This is
considering
my
it was her
baby.
idea, yeah, and she's actually the logo too.
Yeah.
So we've made that, rather put her face on something than mine.
So how did you decide on the 4 flavors? Was it like things that were favorites,
Yeah, so
previous,
like
or
my go-to was always a lemon drop martini. I
Mm.
just love drinking those, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that one had to be exact. And actually that was the first when they sent the first round of flavors, that one was done immediately after the first round. I was like,
Wow.
don't touch it. That's it.
Yeah,
And then all the other 3, like they took a few more rounds. The mojito taking the longest.
right. Yeah, the
Um,
mojito is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
It has a hint of ginger in it,
No, mint.
or mint. I'm sorry, mint, but it's not like an overwhelming like toothpastey like spearmint
Yeah.
type. It's like it blends very nicely.
It's hard to
And
get mint right in a liquid
Yeah.
form without a mint,
oh yeah,
like
and
without it tasting
even
artificial. Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
that's the thing is like a lot of our competitors, they are, I don't even want to call them that. The other mocktails out there.
Yes.
They're all doing a great job just even putting things out there in this market. But yeah, the mint would taste like a fake chewing gum or like toothpaste, and it would
Yeah.
sit in your mouth and linger. And I was like, we had to really work hard on that
Yeah.
it tasted like fresh mint,
yeah,
and it does. And
Yeah.
the passion fruit, I was just like thinking like mojito, and passion fruit just was like an exotic flavor that came to my mind, and I was like, I think this would be really great.
Nice.
I think it's a big swing, and it sounds like it's paying off. Big risk, big reward.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, well, I mean, once we become profitable, I mean, this is all self-funded now, so we're about to go into a second round of more bottles. Then we're going to get into cans, but I foresee this being, a pretty large opportunity as we scale. I mean, like I said, we've only been in the market 4 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, I was just talking about the flavors because I mean, typically when you think mojito, like you think of just the lime and
Right.
the mint, but like when you had like the passion fruit, something like that, like yeah, that's really
And
awesome.
that's like how with the Moscow Mule, I knew I wanted a mule. Like I feel like these 4 flavors are like kind of like your typical 4 main drinks that when you see like at a bar, any bar, with a cocktail menu. And with the mule, I was like, I just knew black cherry was a popular flavor in like any beverage out there, or seltzers or anything. So I was like, but but I don't want it to taste like syrupy or like a fake black cherry, like
Yeah.
a cough syrup, you
Yeah.
know? So they worked really, really hard on that flavor and also the ginger beer flavor, because some of those can be like hit or miss too. So I'm really happy about it.
I have to say, as a child of the 90s, black cherry Jello is like the elite flavor
Yep.
of Jello. And like, if something's cherry flavored, but I'm like, if there's a black cherry option, like
Mhm.
that's always what I
yeah.
gravitate toward, because it's just like a deeper, I don't know, it just tastes better. It's just not
It
as
does.
like cloyingly sweet. Like it just has that extra layer of depth to it. But man, I love a food pun. Like I can't get over a cranberry Cosmo knot. Like that's
right,
not
the
like
name.
I think I'm gonna order one of each of these today. If
okay.
if they ship, I was like thinking like, oh, alcohol across state lines, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's not alcohol, so
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
totally
We
ship
did
here.
that for a reason too, because it's
Yeah, of
0.0 where it could have
Yeah.
been 0.5.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes
in O'Doul's or, you know.
yeah, sometimes you get that NA stuff, and it's just like a point of a point of a point.
Yeah.
To where
Yeah, it
like,
was important
you know,
for us, even though it was a little more expensive. We wanted to go 0.0, and we're glad we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it delivered anywhere in the United States, delivered directly to your door. We will be coming out with cans to make it a little less expensive on shipping. Obviously, glass bottles are a little expensive, but people
Yeah.
that enjoy them, I mean, you know, we're right in the market.
Pretty.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we sell them in a 4-pack. You can buy the whole case. There's a discount to buy the 24-pack, but yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get my hands on this. I do drink, but I have found, so I've been on a GLP-1 for
Mhm.
type 2 diabetes for like 15 or 16 months now. So I find that because it slows my digestion, not only can I not drink as much as I used to without feeling like absolutely rotten, and I mean like very little, it takes like a drink and a half, but it's like I never even get any of the buzz effects of the alcohol. I just feel like crap the next day. So
Right.
it's like not only is kind of like the fun gone, even though I like the flavor, it just affects me completely differently.
Yeah.
So it's just like, nah. And then also, like, I think this will be really great for our listeners because we have a lot of people who listen who don't drink for moral reasons
Sure.
or have just never drank because they didn't like the taste. And I think this is like a different way to get, you know, they're not looking for inclusion in that type of space necessarily, but this would just be like a fun, different beverage that they could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So-
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And-
Yeah.
And you can
And-
get like 2 drinks out of them. That's with the twist off lid. You can
Mhm.
make a drink or have a drink and then close it and drink another drink.
Yeah, you
and
don't
then
have to waste
7 days later is
Yeah,
the shelf
yeah,
life
yeah.
after opening. So
Absolutely.
And now that we're getting into spring, summertime, I mean, this is great to get them ice cold and just enjoy outside. If you got company over, even after like yard work. I know every year we barbecue, and our friends have switched over from like beers to seltzers. And I myself, I'm a huge sparkling water fanatic, and so I always want something sparkly, something bright, but something that's also not going to like really mess me up, especially in the heat. So
Yeah.
this is something
I
that
think
I
you'll
would
love the
definitely
lemon drop martini for that.
exactly something like
Yeah.
that would be refreshing outside. Oh, I'm all about
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
mojitos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, our
I
kids
can't-
love the Cosmo. I think
Yeah.
that's their favorite.
Something about kids and cranberry juice, man. Like,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
so
One that is probably pink too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Our daughter
Every-
especially.
Yes.
everything looks kind of more fun when it's, you know, in a little can, a neat little can or a bottle.
Right.
There's something alluring about like when a drink is cute. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, that was a thing too. I mean, you can see the logo here. That's Alena. You know, she's, you know, like I
Yeah.
said, she has a background in modeling for over 15 years worldwide.
Amazing.
We wanted that logo, and we were, you know, I think at first apprehensive just because we wanted to appeal to the male market also. But I think given that sort of like pin-up type look, it really
It's approachable.
it's very approachable, and the small stats that we have, the limited stats that we have, I think it's like almost 50-50 men versus women buying. So
Right.
yeah, and this
Yeah.
looks really good on, you know, like a retail shelf versus a plain can, you know.
You're like the sober Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It looks like it.
Yes.
The bottles are really cute though.
Thank you. Yeah, we spent again.
We're starting to make the cartoon girl come to life, so I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, website.
Oh, that's super fun. I wanted to ask if you have you thought about doing pairings in the city with chefs? Like, have you thought about doing any collabs?
Yeah, I've actually reached out to a few people, local chefs here, private chefs and restaurants. I mean, they all love us, and even using us as a base to cook with, they were interested in. So just coming up with all kinds of different ideas of how to use Madam Mocktail and how to get our name out there.
What's
Yeah.
nice about it is we have a variance of, you know, our customers. We're in country clubs. We're also in 7-Elevens. So, you know, we wanted to appeal to the masses. At first, we kind of wanted to be this elevated drink and only be in certain areas like speakeasies. But then we were like, you know, we came from nothing. So why not make this available to everybody?
Right.
And one of our first orders came from a local gas chain, you know, and their name was Cohen Markets. I don't know how far they
Hmm.
spanned it. I think they're local to Pennsylvania, but we got into 7-Eleven a few months later in a few different states. So we developed distribution in different markets. And if that goes well, then who knows? I mean, the sky's the limit. So
That's
you
so
know,
cool.
yeah.
That's so
But
cool.
we're Whole Foods compatible too.
Mhm.
You know, they've asked us to sign, you know, agreements with them to, you know, start the process. So knock on wood, that might, you know, we might pilot it here locally. But if you know, something like that were to occur, then we can be, you know, across the country in Whole Foods, just because our ingredients, we use very limited ingredients.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though there is a little bit of a sugar in
Yeah, the
it.
sugar is like a soda. I was gonna let you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, our ingredients are we're Whole Foods compliant. I think we only have like 4 ingredients in each drink.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I almost feel like when I get these in the mail, I'm going to use them to flavor club soda, which
Mhm.
just
Some people
because
do
for,
that,
for
yeah.
me,
We've heard
I just want like
Yeah.
a little bit of a low sugar.
Yeah. Right.
You know, but
Mhm.
I can't wait to taste these. Do you have
Oh,
any
yeah.
plans for other flavors, or is it a secret?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we have thoughts of it, but like I said, I think the can run is probably our next step.
Right.
And just like designing that, you know, we want it to look similar to the bottle, but its own kind of thing. But yeah, we're definitely thinking about flavors. I want an espresso martini for sure.
Oh wow.
It's a matter of figuring out if we want cream in it or not. It's been a whole thing.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that yeah, like with bottling or canning, it just, you know, there's certain
Getting that texture. And
Yeah.
if, you know,
Yeah.
we don't want to
heat
put
and
something
everything.
out there that doesn't really mesh well. And if it doesn't,
Yeah.
if for some reason, if it doesn't pour or taste well, we're not going to do it. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's why we're
It's-
gonna try
it's
and grow the
so-
4 that we have and see where we're at.
It's
in the
so
next few
hot
months.
right now, though. Espresso
Yeah.
martinis,
is.
man.
It is. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you could do one with a plant milk, you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll
So-
throw one out there. You know, a French 75. That's one of my favorites. If y'all can figure that one out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought about
say it.
that. And what's the one for the Derby?
The mint julep.
Yeah, we've been
Mint
julep,
thinking
yeah.
about that too.
Mhm.
Since we nailed the mint already,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not? I mean, the sky's the limit. And if you could
Mhm.
get into the space where you're able to like that is sold at those races, that would
Right.
be
That's what I was
insane.
thinking. That
Right?
would be amazing.
Yeah.
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 And I think it looks classy with like the logo and everything. Like it just kind of goes. Put a hat on her, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you got to put a derby hat with a bunch
Yes.
of flowers, like you know, like, it's very very much like on trend for that
Mhm.
time of year. I love that. I can't wait to try these. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited to hear how you like them.
Yeah. Please let us know.
It's a matter of which one you're gonna like better. I think so.
So
I
me
feel
and
like the,
go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say I feel like the lemon drop's probably gonna be one of my favorites. Although I'm always a sucker
Same.
for a good mojito, you know. But they all sound really really good. So yeah, I'll
I-
be ordering them myself.
I
as well.
love a mojito. I had 2 very not great experiences with too much ginger beer, too many mules
Yeah.
in my early 30s. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't hate ginger beer. It's just
Yeah.
now I steer away.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to drink them. So
Yeah.
this
At
could
least
be
try it. Yeah.
my
see what
reintroduction.
your thoughts are. We'd love to hear.
This could be my
Yeah, most
reintroduction.
definitely.
Well,
So
ahead,
where
Steve.
can people find you? Like, I mean, you have your website, right? Madam Mocktail. Where else can people find you?
Yeah, so right now, we're sort of in the tri-state area. Like I said, we've only been 4 months to market, so our
Mhm.
wholesaler's local here in Pittsburgh. We're just updating our website to show what locations we're in, but we are in a lot of retail. We're in distribution, like beer distributors, different restaurants varying across the city. We are in 7-Elevens across Maryland, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So we'll be updating that as we start to grow, but
It should be updated this week.
it should be updated this week. But www.madammocktail.com. People can have them delivered anywhere in the United States to their doorstep, and that's probably the easiest way for direct to consumer right now.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, being in Texas, I would definitely, websites, social medias, things like that. Y'all got that as well?
Absolutely, we have Instagram, Facebook.
I just created a TikTok.
Which we're not as familiar
Figuring
with.
that out.
Yeah.
There's so many different platforms for it. So yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'm old school. Like I'm LinkedIn, so just on my LinkedIn, I have Madam Mocktail, and people seem to find us there. But
Yeah.
Alena is more of the creative. I mean, she does all of the social media. We are hiring someone to help with that and assist her because she does it for both of our businesses as well. So she's been pretty
the
overwhelmed
website.
with the website and all that. So yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, we're hoping, as we scale from direct to consumer, we can be in areas like yourself where we have distribution. That's something that we weren't as familiar with, like the different laws governing the states as far as,
Sure.
who can carry us. Luckily,
Right.
we're 0.0, so
Yeah.
there aren't as many, exclusive agreements, whereas we can probably get into more and more distributors that are local to your areas once we grow and scale.
Mhm.
I was going to ask if there were any special rules in Pittsburgh. Like, could you have grab and go, like a refrigerator with your stuff in the front of the grooming places? Like,
Oh.
just put it out there. I don't know.
So I mean, that's we
Something
probably
we have to look
could.
into,
Yeah,
yeah.
something we should look into.
So-
Yes, but absolutely, it's
Nothing-
worth
nothing
noting. I mean,
better
we're in
than,
coffee shops. We're in
self-promote.
yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, like a little mom and pop shops are carrying us. There's a little local farm down the road that has us that seems to be doing pretty well. But we were really shocked with the retail gas stations how fast they picked up on it. Ones that are allowed to sell alcohol have really started selling a lot of NA products too. And we were I think
We were
one
the
of the
first
first to go in.
Yeah.
To
Which was awesome because then it's like more like readily available for anyone that's in AA or sober curious. Whereas, typically you have to order them and it takes a while to come in the mail, or you have to go to a specialty shop
Right.
to find like all the NA drinks. It's not as easy,
Yeah.
and having them in gas stations, you can just drive down the street and grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There aren't many areas that don't just have like a 7-Eleven just at least somewhere, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're in a little subgroup right now, but if it takes off, then who knows? It could go national, but
Yeah.
we're hopeful, knock on wood, that does happen.
Now getting
Yeah.
into like the gas stations, things like that, like did you just go up to them and say, hey, we've got this really excellent product, things like that, or did you have to go higher
What-
up? Or...
The first 2 months we were out selling ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean just face-to-face meetings, driving around. I mean
Mhm.
we didn't even have a product. We had
We had AI generated images of our product. Like the
yeah.
bottles. They all had like a red liquid looking in them, and I was like, "This isn't,
Oh no.
the drink."
And we got 3 orders. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
we did.
I didn't
That's
know
Awesome.
what the price point was going to be. We didn't even have distribution. We didn't have a wholesaler that was going to carry our product. I thought I was going to have to rent a warehouse. And I mean, again, we had zero knowledge getting into the beverage industry. We just
We were
Yeah.
just doing it.
did it.
Like there were
Yeah.
thousands of bottles. Like we're like, where were they gonna go? And
Yeah.
like ended up meeting a distributor, and they were like, "We can carry your product," and we're like, "Okay, like hold your
It's-
product."
I
It
think
was
that
wild.
it's so interesting, like this sober curious movement, right? Like, I think we've talked about it before on here. There's this, I won't call it a fad, that's really not the right word, but there is this trend that's growing called zebra striping.
That-
This
yes,
term? It's
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
you drink a drink and you drink a water, and then you
Yeah.
drink- which I'm like, hey, yes and no, right? Like all you're doing is delaying the inevitable, I think. But it's interesting that people who drink will seek out something that tastes like, look like, smells like
Yeah.
the product. It's kind of like when people are vegans, but then they like try to make cauliflower into wings, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, it's not going to be a wing.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, I don't know, it just fascinates me, right? It's like the reason that people seek out the products that they do. Whereas I
Yeah.
think you guys are like, hey, we're not here trying to replace anything, right? Like we're just trying to be our own product. Oops, lost you guys. Where'd you go?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear us? Uh-oh. Oops. James, Alena.
Connecting?
Maybe.
Yep.
Pardon us while we have a little technical difficulty here. Oh,
But
oh
yeah,
no, our guest disappeared. I'm going to
Oh.
wait for them to try to get back in.
Yeah,
Steve.
most but I do think you're right. Like on this, it's it's not a trend. It's not a fad, things like that. But like, it's definitely a lifestyle. It's something that's growing. It's definitely changed. Especially since we talked to like my buddy Philip from St. Louis, and even he was like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be the future of all this." So
All right, we're
very
back.
interesting.
Hey,
There we
hi.
go.
Mom
Welcome
was
back.
calling us.
That's
I don't know if
okay.
there was an emergency or something.
Sorry about that.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, my sister's in the ER, but she's okay. She's
Okay.
fine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So
Sorry to
hopefully
hear
we can
that.
cut that part out.
Yeah.
It was just like 10 seconds or whatever, but no biggie.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
glad everything is okay. I was like, oh my God, was there a power outage or like what's going on? But no, Steve and I were just talking about like how interesting it is, like the reasons why people seek out, particular products. But yeah. So yeah, this was a blast. We had a great time getting to know you all. Alena, I wanted to ask, while you worked at Ford, did you ever picture yourself being memorialized on the front of a mocktail bottle?
Not a mocktail, no.
Right.
No, because
That's
I was a pretty big drinker and like
Yeah.
into like wines and all kinds of different things. But
Mhm.
but I mean maybe like in 2021 when I came up with the Madam Mocktail name,
Yeah.
I portrayed the Madam going into restaurants, but I
Oh,
never knew I was
wow.
going to be like this cartoon character on an actual mocktail bottle.
That's
So
like
it's pretty awesome.
You got
Yeah.
it. That's your editorial shot, right? Like,
She's been on the
you're
cover
in.
of Vogue. Who's she kidding? Like,
Love
come on.
that.
But I didn't know I'd be on like the bottle of a mocktail.
Yeah, true.
But alcohol is like really, really prevalent in that industry, though, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, it is.
I think everything's prevalent in that industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I had
Hey.
to step away and come
Hey,
back home to
also the
Pittsburgh.
food industry, so it's okay.
Yeah.
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 So have you all done like trade shows, things like that, where you're just like kind of promoting your product, or is
Yeah.
there plans for that?
Yeah, we have. We've done a few trade shows. We're getting into these markets now. That this summer, as these kind of like farmers markets are approaching. There's a lot of local stuff and festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's self promotion, and us two kind of being there. I think really accelerates a lot of the growth we've had, because people like to see that we're the owners. We're the only two people that have ownership in the company. So it
Mhm.
kind of makes it like.
Well, we thought
Awesome.
about like hiring people to do this stuff for us, but like I don't know. I just don't think that it will translate as well as it does whenever we both go.
That's
do it,
true. We
you
went to
know?
Miami with our kids. I have a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old from a previous relationship, and Alena's, I mean, just like their mom, they love her. But we went down to Miami Mocktail Fest, and I mean, I think it showcased really well. I mean, it was kid
Nice.
friendly. We had our
Well,
kids.
we had our kids there.
Yeah.
We made it friendly.
Well, yeah, right, exactly, and they were all behind it. But it was, I think, we were the busiest table there of
Oh, definitely. We had a lot
established companies. Yeah, and-
because I think people they could relate to us, and they wanted to come to our table and see, hey, what's going on over here?
and our kids were great about it. They were pouring drinks, like mocktails into. It was
That's
awesome.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That's
There's something very much in my head, which I haven't been to Pittsburgh before. I've been to Hershey, and maybe I flew through Philly. I can't remember, but there's something in my head that screams Miami when I look at your cocktails and how colorful and bright they are and everything else. And there's something in my head about Pittsburgh that just says gray, which is probably wrong, but I think it's.
No, you're
It's
absolutely
there.
right. Pittsburgh's very gray and rainy, and
Right.
we kind of do have that Art Deco type look.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it like kind of resembles like a more vibrant, fun atmosphere.
It was a hit. It was a hit.
I mean,
If you
every
could get distribution, if anyone's out there, Madam
It's-
Mocktail, hi.
yeah,
Something about Miami just says like party
Yes.
time to me.
absolutely. I mean, we went
I've only been to the
Las
cruise
Vegas.
port and the airport, and neither one of them were super great. So
Yeah. We
I'm
were
with
out
it.
in Las Vegas just for like your birthday,
birthday, yeah.
just to kind of go and experience Las Vegas sober for
Sober,
me. And
yeah.
I can't believe how much there is to do without sitting in a casino and being drunk all the time.
uh-huh.
I mean, I honestly was shocked. I was like, I've been here 10 times and
It was
I've
dope.
never seen anything like this. This is great.
Yeah,
So,
I-
But they love the mocktail.
they loved it.
They're big on them there. The trends are coming around. I think they even do
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of the pools does like a sober, like a pool day.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say 110 pounds ago, I could hold quite a bit of liquor. But when I had to make lifestyle changes due to a thyroid issue and type 2 diabetes, I often have reflected like, man, it's really cool to be able to remember things too. Like remembering
Yeah.
experiences is dope. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
yeah. So,
And feeling good the next day, like you were saying.
and also not feeling bad the next day. It's incredible. So,
Yeah,
well,
most definitely. I can't tell you how many times that, during the summertime, we've had a little too much. And of course, you're in the sun all day drinking and
That'll
you just
catch up
feel
to
like
you.
just garbage, at the end of the night. And you wake up the following morning just like, oh, why did I do that? And having something like this prevents all that. And I love it. Like I'm looking at your website right now and I keep having to tell myself, like, these are mocktails. Like they look so good.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just so professionally
There's
done.
something I have somebody in my workplace that's constantly on me and love her to death, incredible partner. But she's like, have you had water today? And I'm like, I had an Earl Grey. I had a Diet Coke. I had some cucumbers with my lunch. I had an iced tea. She's like, but real water. I'm like, hey, listen, the science is not there that these things are so diuretic that they don't count as hydration. I see what you're getting at, but like, but I'm the last person that's going to drink plain water. It's boring.
Yeah.
So I'll find other ways, right? Like we're talking about unsweet tea, right? Like we're talking about herbal teas. I'm like, these things count as water. And so when I think about something like Madam Mocktails, I'm like, this I could knock out in the summertime when it's hot and humid here in North Carolina and still feel like I got my liquids in, right? So yeah.
I mean, we're not promoting. There are companies out there that promote health and like
Sure.
the feeling of that, and we wanted to kind of stay away from that market. We definitely wanted to. The bold flavors were the most important to us.
Well, I think the wellness market is just fraught with grifters. So I think that's like
A whole bunch,
the right place to be. But
Right.
I'm so excited to have something that can just be flavorful and
Awesome.
it doesn't have to be plain water and it could still serve
Right,
a
definitely
purpose,
if you're
right?
mixing it with
Like,
a seltzer or
Yeah,
sparkling
yeah.
water.
Definitely, for
Yeah.
And
sure.
our flavors are so bold that if you do just put a splash in, it's gonna
Yeah.
taste amazing.
Well,
So
go ahead.
I would say so. Drinking them straight is also perfect. What's your favorite like things to mix with it that you all have found
Like
so far?
liquor.
No. It doesn't have to be liquor. Like anything to like stretch it out. Have y'all thrown anything like juices, things like that in there?
I don't think it's needed.
The only thing we've done, there's a non-alcohol store that's just primarily non-alcohol, and I, just for me being sober, I've messed with like non-alcohol like spirits to mix in with
like
that.
I call them faux
Liquors, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think,
This one they adding orange bitters. It turns it kind of into
almost like a bourbon.
like a bourbon. Tastes like a
Nice.
bourbon.
Because I can
Nice.
imagine, like, if you're taking this to a bartender, their brains are turning like, what can I mix with this? What can I do?
Definitely. Yeah,
So,
so we're in a few speakeasies in the Pittsburgh area, and they're like mixologists,
Which we thought we
Yeah.
would have no success in because they're all very
about
proud
like
about
starting from
scratch.
nothing, and
Yeah.
doing stuff.
But
and
they love it.
success is
But it
basic,
makes their
so-
job easier.
Yeah,
I
Absolutely.
love
Yeah,
it's so
definitely.
cheeky. Like I love the idea of a mocktail being in a speakeasy. Like that's
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, and they're getting more and more requests for NA type drinks too. But even the country clubs and like the Duquesne Club that we're in, which is a higher end establishment, is a private club. They're utilizing all flavors as
Mhm.
either a mocktail or a or a cocktail.
Yeah, and they do a lot of banquets, weddings, where the glass bottle is nice because of the twist off, the shelf life, everything after opening. You get 2 to 3 drinks out of it, especially if you are mixing it with like a 2-ounce pour of vodka. And it just gives an option for weddings, a mocktail or a cocktail.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
super easy, and then you don't have to batch it, and
Right,
you don't have to
right.
worry about the prep time, and like, to me,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because like us as chefs, like if you give us a product, like we're gonna try it as is, and then
Yeah.
of course, like I said, our brains are turning like, okay, what can we mix with this? So I'm thinking like, okay, what could I do to make this kind of like a sangria, if you will, like fruit,
Mhm.
things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Cisco
also
reached
feel
out
like-
to us, and we're going to be on their wholesale website for, I think there's like close to 1 million customers they have that are on this wholesale website. So I think in the next 2 weeks, we should be under Cisco as their only, I think, mocktail company.
That's
Excellent.
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wish you both nothing but the best. I think this is an incredible venture. I literally have my cart open. If I could share my screen right now, I have my
Awesome.
cart open right now on madammocktail.com. But I can't wait to get this information out to the world, out to our listeners. You've been
Wonderful.
so generous with your time today. Thank
Oh,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just one last thing with Madam
yeah,
Mocktail. We are going to get to the
absolutely.
one click. Right now, we're
Yeah.
going through our wholesaler where there's a few steps, but I think in the next 2 weeks, we'll have one click to make it much easier and streamlined. So,
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get to test this in real time in just a few minutes when I make my order. But yeah, this is amazing. I hope to see you guys in all the grocery store chains
Yeah.
across the country
Fingers
over the
crossed.
next year. So thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on
much.
the Food for Thoughtcast. For everybody who's listening out there, you know the drill. Go to the foodforthoughtcast.com. You can see James and Alena's links to their socials, their bio, headshots, and everything else once the episode is dropped. So stay tuned, everybody. For Steve and for James and Alena, I'm Melissa, and we got to go. Bye-bye.
thank you so much. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Stick
Bye-bye.
around.
Take care.
Yeah.